YouTube. I haven't seen you in a while, have I? Yeah, sorry. Today I'm here to discuss with you of Fire and the Key, the second and the third books in the Engels Force trilogy by Mats Strandberg and Sarah Elfgren. This is just one amazing series, and I think there will be some spoilers, but I can assure you that the spoilers will want you to read it even more. So you can see chunky books, but I read them in like a week and a half both because they're that good. So I will start with Fire. I'm reviewing these two together because I read them one after the other, but I would try to keep them separate. So the second book picks up a few, I don't know exactly how much, but sometime after the first one. And it starts with a Linnea chapter, and Linnea is one of my favorites. Actually, she's my favorite character in the series. Yeah, something that uh, I really I like Ida, especially you get to like Ida in the second book, probably. I always try to see the underlying characters and see why, and you see why she is such a bully. You see her family life, her friends, her boyfriend, and you realize why. But each girl had a different chapter in the beginning, and Ida only got half of it. But then I think the authors make up for it. Anyway, this book is fighting another evil in town. Um, it's called Positive Angers Force, and it takes the shape of a sect-like club that is promoting that people should be positive, remove negativity from their lives, and then good things will happen to them. And people seem to be brainwashed by this. The chosen ones, the circle, are not impressed by this at all. But everyone around them, including their own family and friends, are joining this club, which they see as a threat. They know that there is something going on. Yeah. Um, there's also another plot in this one, in that Anna Karen has her trial for breaching the council's the council's rules. There are 3 rules, and she's suspecting of having breached them. Adriana, the old principal, and Nikolaus, the caretaker, are trying to protect the girls, but one of them leaves and the other one cannot do much, and they're punished for what they did. And I felt for this character a lot because they have been through so much. Anyway, another plot is one character is feeling for another, and they're queer, like, well, yeah, queer. And I mean, my friend told me there would be a queer couple in the book. I guessed who they were from the first book, and I was right. And it's a big subplot. It's not even a subplot. I would call it a big part of the plot, because one person has feelings for the other, and but it's not just the two of them that's involved. Other people get involved in this, like one tries to be supportive because she realizes, and so on. And they are such deep ingrained feelings that they force, like, choices happen because of these feelings. There's some new characters in the book, mostly because of the council that is now in Engels Force. Um, what else? The writing style was as always superb, really top notch. The different POVs added rather than hindered the plot. You know, the chapters are short. No, there are around 70. There are 76 chapters in Fire. You will realize why it's called Fire, by the way. Yeah. And also the key, I didn't realize until, oh, duh, it's called the key because of this. But anyway, um, the different POVs really add something. You are always looking forward to the point of view of your favorite characters, and you get like different horizontal perspectives, like whilst Anna Karin is doing this, Linnea is doing that, and I think it was really good. I especially liked, of course, when they all came together. Um, but of course, I liked some perspectives more than others. Vanessa is always sweet. She gets a bit hurt, but her family life gets better. While all the others, except maybe Linnea, but Linnea is like, yeah, um, they get worse, and you feel for them because they are. Although there was some magical interference in some of their lives, um, the possibilities of that happening to you or someone close to you is very real. I couldn't tell which chapters were written by which author, so this duo of authors should definitely write more together because they are great. Um, oh yeah, and Anna Karin gets a familiar, which I thought was really cool. She's the earth element and she's the one that connects most with animals, so I thought it was good that it was her that gets a familiar. So okay, let's go to the second book now. So the key, it starts. I had hoped something in the second book at the end, but I was hoping to see another character here, and the character is there, and it starts with their point of view, which is good. This book is divided between two different parts. You get the normal part of the chosen ones, and you get another sort of different plane of existence, um, and it switches. And I was always looking forward towards this other plane of existence, which I think added a lot to the plot. At the end of the book, you feel that there were second chances and closure. I liked how the book ended. It wasn't overly positive, but it was realistic. Like, so the main plot is that the apocalypse is approaching. There's a lot of different time lapses and a lot of different times, and it's getting faster and faster and faster, and things seem to fall in place. There is a lot of betrayal, and they don't know who they can trust, who the chosen ones can trust. Sometimes it feels like they can't even trust each other, which happens, it's different variety of people, and it's very realistic that you don't know who to trust. In this case, there are two players which turn out to be two enemies. So it's not like just one, no, they have two, and there are different subgroups in each group. So some side with this, some side with that. Yeah. There's a relationship in this one which has been coming from the first book, and it was a great plot in both the first and the second books, and it's finally here. And no matter what happens to that relationship, the connection between these two characters is always there and above anything else, even above the circle, for example. And I thought they were cute. I mean, by first few months, they were already basically married to each other. Not literally, but they were acting like that, and I thought it was really cute. In the second book, I forgot to mention, Vanessa gets a job, which was pretty funny. Um, she continues ish, but yeah, like Mona, I can't say this maybe, is a great, funny character in all three books, and she proves to be useful in this book. There's also different side side characters like Evelina, Ricard, Gustav that prove to be quite useful in this book as well. A bit of a warning, you will feel that there is a lot of injustice in this book. Very realistic, but it doesn't make you feel good, to be honest. There's a lot of betrayals, and you feel like at one point a particular character disliked her. And in fact, I wasn't looking that forward to the chapters that were in her POV, but I get why it was a huge part of the deal. Like, it's a huge part of this plot. You're meant not to like what she's doing because basically she's wrong, and you feel like screaming at her. But at the same time, she's grieving. She wants simplicity and she wants black and white, and she has the opportunity to have it. And I'm pretty sure that most of us would have done it. I mean, when faced, like, there is something in the second book, I think Linnea says that had she made different choices in life because their family lives were similar, she could have ended up as the victim, as Anna Karen. And it's true, like, had they made different choices, they could have ended up totally different characters. And you feel the kind of reality. I think this book, this series as a whole, portrays different humanities, different teenage characters as different human beings. It humanizes the teenagers are human, and even the adults in the book are human, and they are different from each other. They have flaws, and had they made different choices, they would be different. Even people that are perceived as victims, or there's a particular group which is Vanessa's friends and Vanessa, they are perceived as the sluts. But especially I think in this book, we see their humanity, and we see what's behind what everyone else sees. And whether they are promiscuous or not, it makes no difference, because they are human and they have different realities, and they are, alive. I think apart from the fantasy element, which was really, really good in this series, and I'm trying to read a lot of fantasy. Like, most of my Lesbury reviews are fantasy books. Even now I'm reading The Will of the Empress, so fantasy, sci-fi sort of thing. I think also this book is a great insight into different humanities. I keep repeating it, but it dawned on me that, yeah, it's different point of views and different realities of people, and how they come together to form something strong because they have to, but then they choose to be friends, not because they have to, but because different humanities click together like different elements in the circle. And I think if you like fantasy, or even if you don't, this is a great way to start. But especially if you like fantasy, this is a series that you cannot miss. And although maybe you may think that the first book was not so good, I think the second was great, and the third book, although there was an annoying part of it, was also really good. And you don't want it to end, but it does. It's just three books, but I think they make a difference. Yeah, for now that's it. It was a chunky review, chunky discussion, but two chunky books to review. Hopefully see you sometime soon. Bye! Because I'm sure that you want to read it after you read Fire. Like, no, please don't, no, don't have let this happen, but it happened. But I get you. I know why you don't like her. Not like, oh, teenagers. You know how teenagers are.